Hello! In this video, I'll be speedrunning the demo of my game, Angels and Demons. I went into this with no routing prep. I decided to wing it and try a fast playthrough just as if I was testing the game from start to finish. This video will have spoilers for the Angels and Demons demo, so if you haven't already, consider giving it a try. The link to the trailer and download will be in the description. So, what are the rules? I must use the latest version of Angels and Demons demo number 3. At the time of recording, that's version 1.0.4. I have to reach the end of the demo as fast as possible. I have to defeat all the main game bosses. Boss rush is not necessary. I can't use any cheats or debug tools, obviously. And the time will end when the Rune of Patience is grabbed at the end of World 2. And one last thing before we start. This is an edited version of a stream from a little bit ago. If you want to catch things like this live, be sure to subscribe. Now, let's get on to the video. I honestly don't know how this is going to go. Might be something pretty quick. It might take a few hours. I hope not, but you know. I also, if you're a member of the Discord, you've probably seen that I literally just pushed an update to the game. That's because I was made aware of a bug, and I kind of actually just put off fixing it because 2 or 3 entire people on the planet knew about it. But it was possible to gain infinite height with the dash and wall jumping, so you could skip the entire Deep Woods section of World 2. You could also skip getting the Scarf Grapple, and you could skip getting the Angel Airlines ability too, but like, why would you? If anything, that just hinders you at that point because it's going to make everything else more difficult. So anyhow, time starts as soon as we go past this screen. Time ends when we collect the Rune of Patience. It is Patience, right? Developer doesn't even know his own game? Okay, 3, 2, 1. I already screwed up the first skip, it's over. I should reset run right here, but yeah, I've played my own game enough to know quite a few like silly goofy things to do to save time. I definitely had my fair share of early speedruns, I guess, where during testing I played through the game a lot. So I kind of know, I guess, a little bit. I guess I wouldn't say too much, because I mean, I'm the developer. I shouldn't ever know too much about the game. You know, I'm the one making it. But I do know a little bit of optimizations here and there that are a little unorthodox. And it's given me some good ideas about how to fix up movement in the future. What'll be coming in Demo 4. Like for starters, if you see me doing like this jump dash a lot, like jumping and then going down, currently in development, like you would get top speed doing that in the development version right now, or what will be Demo 4 in the future, but in Demo 3 it's not the case. So I actually am probably losing time here. I should have went and got the cactus bracelet first, because then I think I would have been able to one-shot these glutlets first if I'd done that, and then I would have been able to sweep the other one out. So this is by no means optimal, so if someone comes through and watches this and like, oh wow, this guy sucks at his own game, show me up, please. Play my game, please beat it faster than me. Like, I'd be fine with having a little bit of competition to go along with it. That'd be a fun little Discord challenge. One thing I would also like to note, and this is irrelevant to the game or any gameplay right now. Oh, good RNG. Yesterday, I had my wisdom teeth removed. I had 2 wisdom teeth removed, so if my voice sounds a little off, it's because I can't make full use of mouth motion right now. So just something to keep in mind, I guess. Can we get defend? Let's go. Good RNG. And I screwed it up, doesn't even matter. Too used to the development version, honestly. Some of the encounters I'll be avoiding just because they're like time wasters, like with just glutlets. But the glutlings give big XP, so I will be fighting some of those. Already we're at a point where we can probably one-shot these guys. Almost, okay. Which is really good. And another thing I've kind of I've kind of noticed that is going to be adjusted for Demo 4 balance. Is like you need a grand total of like we're at 4 minutes of playtime, and we're already one-shotting most of the enemies. I'm gonna like safety save. And here's a neat little skip too. Okay. I do think I want to go through the dream sequence just because there's a good item I can get that will probably help out in the long run. For those of you who don't know, in the dream sequence, if you actually go over to the right there when you go into the mirror part, you can kind of see what's above. And this kind of tells the player and Yui that, oh, there is actually something else. There's a hidden room up here that we can go to and get an item. Like, not many people know about it, though. The few people that I have, like, watched play the game, I have mentioned it to them, like, hey, there's a cool item you can get. And it's like something you might not notice. And if you try and go to the area prior to actually doing the dream sequence, it's actually disabled. Like, you can't find the door, which might actually just be bad game design on my part, but either way, oh, bad RNG with the points. Oh well. So now what we're doing is we're gonna go back, we're gonna fight the Glut Slinger. We're going through what might be objectively the worst backtracking in the whole game. When I was developing Demo 3, I had kind of a self-imposed time crunch, because I really, like, I knew ahead of time I was going to be in the 2023 Paperverse Direct. And because of that, there was also a physical demo disc that was going to launch along with that. I put in to be a part of that, and you know, I made it, though at the cost of like some things in Demo 3 were at a lower quality than I would have liked them to be, just because like I don't manage my time amazingly well. Shocker. But basically, there was a lot of polish that could have been done to World 1 that didn't happen. So I ended up mostly just focusing all the development into World 2 and getting things ready for that, though some other areas suffered because of it. Obviously World 1 suffered, Boss Rush suffered a little bit, but it's actually not that big of a deal, I guess. Like, it kind of is, because I've had a few people that get kind of confused of the with the amount of backtracking that's just in World 1, and that's solely because like this predates Demo 3 by quite a bit. Like, this backtracking was present all the way back in the first demo, so most of World 1 is exactly the same in the very first demo, like save for a few minor changes. Demo 1 had really poor graphics, and then Demo 2 got fixes for the rhythm game. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to do this while talking. Demo 2 got rhythm game fixes, it got new and improved background music for Pepperoni, among a few other quality of life changes. So that's kind of what Demo 4 will be. It'll be like a quality of life update to Demo 3, like Demo 1 got with Demo 2. With Demo 4, it's going to be all the things I wanted in Demo 3, but put on the back burner because getting it fixed and ready for Paperverse, Direct, and Demo Disc was way more important. So what I'm doing now is to actually get to the secret bosses, you have to play through the rhythm game in each world. So playing through the rhythm game in World 1 will get you the, in quotes, illegal hot sauce, which will allow you to break the seal to the vomitorium to fight Pepperoni. In World 2, you will get the Fury Knife, which will break the seal to the War Zone, where you can fight Bloodwrath. Okay, cool. S rank, that's a achievement. And then I'm also going to shop here too. Can I buy? Yeah, I'm gonna get the Big Top Banquet. And then we're gonna get the hot sauce, because we can't actually go into the dining room because it's packed. I forget if I actually need to go over here. This is what I mean by like the backtracking is insane. there's so much just dumb story progression stuff. So we go over there and we're like, yo, we basically tell him, hey, we need to cross the desert because you can only go by horse ride because plot development and padding. It's like, oh, well, the horse rider's slacking. So we have to go talk to his mom, who chews him out on the phone, and then he gets back into work and he goes back over here, and then we can go across the desert. Also, we'll pet the horse. So we're about a quarter of the way through World 1 now. And we are 13 minutes in exactly, which is not that bad actually. World 1 is, like, it's pretty fast to get through if you know exactly what you're doing. World 2 takes quite a bit longer just because there's so much extra stuff. You gotta go to 2 different sides of the kingdom and everything. Fight 2 different bosses. Technically 3 if we're gonna count Bloodwrath there, and then we gotta go through a whole bunch of stuff. I'm mostly happy with the World 2 progression. It's probably not gonna get changed too much going into Demo 4 other than some minor story beats getting adjusted. Actually, I'm going to fight this set of enemies because this will be big XP. We definitely want to get this dude out of here first because he can heal others. It'd be really cool if he just didn't heal his teammates. Oh my gosh, of course. I've got the worst RNG already. Get out of here, bro. So one idea I have cooking up for Demo 4 is that these kind of support enemies like Gluttlery will get, like, obviously there's going to be a lot of balance changes, but I'm thinking Gluttlery might get 2 attacks per turn just to make him even more annoying than he already is. And then nerf his HP by quite a bit, so he'll be like one of those characters that you definitely want to knock out of the fight first, because if you don't, he's just going to sit back there. He's going to attack you either twice in one turn, or he's going to attack you once and he's going to heal his party members, which neither of those are good options, all things considered. Okay, yeah. Once we get to a certain amount of attack power, we can just, like, get, like, terrible, oh my gosh, terrible RNG. We can just get the terrible trash quality for a melee to one-shot these enemies, which works out pretty good. Oh, there's a trailer scene. Works out pretty good because, like, most of them are kind of like cannon foddery enemies. Okay, so we're gonna go down here. We're gonna pick up the pepper. That might be helpful. And then before we go on, we're gonna use the banquet, which will give us a permanent increase to HP and to attack by 1 point. So we're on to the first real mini boss, I guess. Technically that could be counted as the Glut Slinger, but since he also just shows up as a standard enemy, like right after we beat the Glut Tank here, I don't know if we should really count that. So it's up to interpretation. He gets the mini boss music, so I guess he could count under it, but after Glut Tank, we enter the second half of World 1, which is Dusty Canyon, and it's pretty short, the canyon area is, because it's like half canyon and then half ruined cathedral. This fight is mostly a time waster. All of Glut Tank's attacks are slow. I have to also remember, because I have insane muscle memory to just enabling debug mode and like doing various things because of testing the game. So I'm like, I have to make the conscious decision not to just press F1 and do things, which is kind of silly, but I mean, you know, it is what it is, I guess. Interesting fact about that attack is that getting the pineapple should technically heal your character, whichever character it collides with, for action points, but it actually just does HP because that's just, like, it's a little more convoluted to actually add on the action points. Okay, decent stat increase. Okay, so now we're in Dusty Canyon. There are 2 pretty good items we can pick up here, equipables. Like, for the people who said, oh yeah, you should definitely remake every single sprite to make it to where when you equip things, it displays on the characters in the overworld. To that I say, no, you're crazy, because, like, right now, if that was the case, main character would look so unbelievably, like, weird, because, like, let's see, if I remember correctly, he would have a white scarf, he would definitely have, like, the purple shorts that the gluttons wear, which, if we're gonna be real, I don't really think they suit him very much. And coming up here in just a second, we will also have him wearing a nomadic robe, which would also just be like a white robe, so, I don't know. I don't think it's worth the time investment to do, like, so many unique sprites or shader things for each individual thing. I'm also kinda on the fence thinking that, like, I'm gonna run into some kind of, like, crash that I've just somehow managed to miss with all the time that Demo 3's been out. That's why I keep doing the safety saves anytime I see a save point, usually. No confidence in my own dev skill when it came to this one. So, there's the small possibility, just because there's, like, one crash that I was aware of that I didn't really know why it occurred, because it was a hard crash. No error message or anything. I kind of feel like it might have been a game maker as an engine kind of goof, because it only happened when release mode was checked on, which is basically just like, oh yeah, we'll save a few frames to remove some safety checks, which, you know, isn't exactly a bad thing, but it did cause random crashes for seemingly no reason. Probably related to using data structures to store certain things in memory, if I had to guess, but either that or Game Maker actually just, like, does crash if those safety checks are disabled and you divide by 0, which I don't know if that's the case or not, and I have no way of knowing because I did not get a crash, and it was like, or a crash log of any kind, and it was totally random when it happened. So it kind of had me messed up for a little bit, but the solution ended up just being like, oh yeah, disable release mode. Frame rate will suffer a little bit, not like a noticeable amount, but one of my main things when working on the game is I want it to be optimized enough that you can run it on pretty old hardware, just as long as you have a 64-bit processor, which, you know, it's 2023. If you don't have a 64-bit processor, like, that is kinda on you, I guess. I hope I just looked at that right. Yeah, okay. I definitely just, like, barely glanced at it, and that could have been a huge time waste. So you can actually still move when that gets triggered. I've known about that being a thing. Like, when the timer gets triggered, you can still move. It's supposed to put you in a cutscene state, but it just doesn't. So doesn't really make much of a difference, honestly. Like, if you can navigate that while not being able to see, like, props to you. Like, go for it, I guess. But I didn't really feel like it was something worth fixing because it's, like, a non-issue. Anyways, we are now in the Vomitorium. This is the first secret boss area in the game. Going through here, we have these enemies, the Obese, and they'll just kind of hinder us. We have to, if we try to move by them quickly, we have to get out of their range, like, really fast, or else they'll just laser us and we're forced into the battle anyways. So we are not going to avoid all of them. Some of them are almost unskippable, but I did want to get one more level up in here. So, oh, that's huge. Okay, 5-point increase. That's what we like to see. And that definitely killed my speed. So, I hit the ceiling. It's over. Actually, I'm just gonna flee from this one. Rare fleeing. Okay, yeah. Alright, so safety save. We're about to go into the first secret boss fight versus Pepperoni, who is notorious for being very difficult, apparently. I personally did not have, like, I didn't really think he was that difficult in testing, but plenty of people seem to, like, share the same sentiment that, yeah, he's busted, he needs nerfed. So, Pepperoni is gonna get probably one of the bigger reworks in Demo 4. I'll probably redo his attacks, or at the very least, I will migrate these really strong ones that he has over to his boss rush fight. So how that's gonna go is yet to be seen, but a lot of people have shared the sentiment that he's too difficult for as early in the game as he is. So he'll be getting a nerf. On the flip side though, Blood Wrath has been like he was underwhelming compared to Pepperoni. Like, the difficulty gap between the two was very noticeable because I guess since when you're in World 2, you'll have Yui as a partner, like, to actually fight with at that point. So I guess I'm not really sure if it's just that his attacks were way easier to dodge, which is probably the case. It's gonna take a little bit of labbing because it's hard to know without, like, seeing the individual, like, player's perspective, basically. Because, like, for me, like, obviously I'm the developer, I know exactly how all the attacks work and all their, like, slight nuances, like how big their hitbox is and everything, like where I can reasonably stand to avoid them and everything. So I have, like, that advantage, so it's a little harder for me to just determine right out of the gate. However, in terms of Blood Wrath's balancing, how do I know that, like, it's actually a difficulty thing and not that just by the time you get there, you as the player have gained, like, more skill, like you're more familiar with the controls, so it feels easier. Otherwise, it's kind of a, like, maybe he is underwhelming. Like, I feel like he's a little underwhelming as a boss. Like, there were 2 or 3 attacks for him that I scrapped because I felt like they were too difficult. Like, they would have been really confusing kind of attacks that would have involved you, like, really having to pay attention to tons of different spots on the screen. So I ended up cutting them just because, like, I'd already known that, like, Pepperoni was giving people grief. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to overdo it for Blood Wrath 2. Like, if I feel like it's too difficult, it's probably too difficult, because I felt like Pepperoni was easy. So, but that's developer yapping, I guess. He should be nearing death soon. I probably could. I wonder if this fight would have been faster if I actually took out the obese first, but that also would have been, you know, like, 4 extra attacks already on top of that. So okay, Pepperoni out of the way. We should have a huge level up buff coming up here soon. Please give me big numbers. Let's go. 3 and greater is just good to have. Alright, that's not too bad. Alright, so we have vanquished the Pepperoni, and now we're going to move on to the final boss of World 1, the Gluttarist. A crude fusion between Mayor Big Top and a Glutank via rune fusion. This is another boss that I've had some people say is difficult for his position, so he'll also be getting a little bit of a nerf too. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to nerf him just yet, but I do want to adjust, like, positioning and everything, because some of his attacks pop off screen too much, which makes it hard to recognize, like, where everything is going to be, and otherwise, like, some visual issues with certain attacks. His riff attack, as I call it, the one with the lightning that he opens with every time, that one is offset to one direction by a few pixels for where it should actually be on screen. There's just like a lot of polish that needs to be put onto World 1. Like World 1's almost getting a whole overhaul. The story is going to be the same, mostly, but some character designs will get adjusted. Enemies are going to get like better animations, buffs, nerfs, whatever. It needs some long overdue TLC, tender love and care. So alright, so that's World 1 out of the way now, pretty much. All that's left now is to get the Rune of Temperance. We get our first rune-based special attack, and then we will also unlock Yui as a playable character. So 30 minutes, that's not too bad, actually, I guess. That's about what I'd expect, I guess. Now we're going to move on to World 2, which is over here in the church nursery. And I'm gonna run and get this quest real quick, just because. Haha, explore the church. For those of you who don't know, every time you complete a world, a new page will get added into the notebook in the pulpit. And it does explain a little bit of extra lore and where it'll end up in the future. And most of that is gonna be unchanged, I think, going into Demo 4. Because all things considered, it's mostly exactly how it needs to be. So the routing I have for World 2 is what we're going to do is we're going to go to the west side first. This will allow us to get the Scarf Grapple ability. We can go ahead and get the Rhythm Game out of the way. We'll get the Fury Knife, which will allow us to fight Bloodwrath when we go to the east side of the kingdom. So also we just had our first possessed enemy fight. So we're gonna stop here in this shop and we're gonna get one of the most busted items in the game, the cross necklace. And we're gonna go ahead and get some stuff for Yui as well. I think it's the heals that increase Moxie by 20. So Yui with crits will be very useful to have. So we want to kind of buff her Moxie quite a bit. Since all of Yui's attacks have angel topping, she will just by default deal more damage to every possessed enemy in the game. Or not possessed. Well, yes, possessed, but any demon enemy, let me say that. Any demon in the game, she will deal, I think it's 1.1 times damage. I don't remember the exact value that I had put on it just because I've changed them around a bit in development. So now what we've done is we've got a quest from the King Banter, King B. Anter, and we are going to go deliver a message to Mr. Arwood, who is leader of a camp out in the woods. And there should just be a path straight to the camp, but oh, shocker, it's actually closed, so we'll have to go the long way. But we're basically delivering like a list of like attendees, like kind of like, I guess like a census of the kingdom to him, because he needs to prep for the annual Westall Youth Retreat. We're kind of just going to avoid these fights with the Angries, I guess, for now, until we get the Scarf Scramble, because that'll let us just like fold them almost instantly. And we're going to get this Lumberjack shirt for main character here. Go ahead and equip that. And cutscene. One of the very few unskippable cutscenes in Demo 3, or at least by cutscene skip means. Even though it does say hold enter to skip, you actually can't do it. So now we have the Scarf Grapple, and we actually don't really need it. Actually, we do need it, but we don't really need it. Because most of these, if you build a ton of speed, you can just skip them anyways. Some of these jumps, but you wouldn't know that unless you're like trying to go fast. We do need to level grind just a smidge, so we're gonna fight off these enemies here. And I don't have enough AP for that. That's wonderful. Doesn't matter. We have I forgot we got the cross necklace. I didn't explain that. So buying the cross necklace from the wardrobe in the kingdom is one of the most broken items that's in the game at all. Like, it adds angel topping to all of main characters' attacks, which Yui's attack already gets like her attack is hindered. She doesn't build attack as much as main character does. She gets 2 points per level, so she's a little weaker comparatively. But by adding the angel topping to main character, we effectively give him an extra 1.1 times multiplier to his attack damage, which is a lot. That kind of goes without saying. Like right now with stats and everything, we have 80 attack power, which is a lot compared to Yui's 21. Okay, so now we're at the cult basically, and we're going to do the next rhythm game, and probably the last one we'll be doing for this run. Completing this, we'll gain not the trust, but we'll basically make the kids that snuck down here think like, oh dang, these guys are cool. We're gonna, like, they're adults, so we'll give them this thing we found down here because we don't need to be holding it, and that's the Fury Knife. And you may be wondering, well, what are all these little kids doing down in the woods like this by themselves anyways? If you've ever been in a position to, like, be like, I guess like for lack of a better term, a youth leader, I can't really think of something else. This is absolutely the kind of thing, like, little kids would do, just to try and seem cool. But you don't just leave them down here by themselves. You do get to send a camp counselor down here who's supposed to be, like, keeping an eye on them and everything. I definitely just missed too. I was FCing, I think. Dang. It's because I was yapping. And this track, honestly, like, to me, it feels like one of the weaker tracks in the game. Like, this was kind of my first experimentation, I guess, with dubstep, if you even call it dubstep. Like, I'm not entirely happy with how this one is. Like, it could be better, but it does fit the atmosphere of, like, why it's here. Like, it's an old track left down here that's probably, like, all grody nasty. We'll just chalk it up to the disc that the audio is on is just bad. Alright, that should be another S rank too. I'm not even going for 100%, but if I was, I would be also on pace. The only thing I would have had to do extra is collect, what do you call them, items for the smoothies. Which, oh no, he's gonna yap about Demo 4 again. He's gonna yap about Demo 4. The smoothie menu is gonna get reworked as well, because, like, for those who are unaware, I've been reworking the item menu in development, and it's mostly done other than it crashes in battles. That is solely because it just doesn't have the functionality implemented yet, but we got, like, sorting and filtering, like, so that way you can just get through your items quickly. And that's also going to be applied to the smoothie menu as well, so you can filter by smoothies that you don't have yet. On top of that, we are gonna have it where, I say we, like there's more than one person working on the game, which is just not true, it's all me. I'm gonna have it set up to where, you know, you just, like, can choose, like, hey, do you have the ingredients? If you do, then you can just insta-craft the smoothie. You don't have to, like, search through there. Or if you do want to, like, try and, like, make a recipe that you don't necessarily know yet, you could manually select the ingredients. Okay, so this is our second mini boss. This is Mr. Arwood, and he's possessed, which is not good. So if you're heartless, you can kill him. We're not going, like, genocide route. We're just trying to fight all the bosses. That's all we're trying to do. We're going, like, Demon Slayer route, I guess. We're gonna take out the Woodwort first, just because, like, that'll save us time later, and just kind of wail on him a little bit. If you leave the Woodwort alive, you get the opportunity to just actually straight up kill Arwood. Like, you just have to leave the Woodwort alive and then beat the possessed enemy, beat the devil out of Arwood, and then you can kill him. Because otherwise the fight ends once he becomes purified, so there, we've got that part done. We've got this section of World 2 done. We're 42 minutes in, and we're almost halfway through, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're actually gonna get some bonus up here, because we need Yui to have some more, oh my goodness. Oh, great heavens. We need Yui to have some more attack power, so we're gonna go up here. and we're going to take out this other possessed enemy. He got possessed and he kind of, I guess he ran off into the woods basically, but he works at the workshop that the first possessed enemy does. So we're gonna get him fixed up. We're gonna get a full heal item for doing that, and we're also gonna let Yui die. Oh my goodness. Actually, she should heal because of her mushroom halo, Hypogeus halo. I forget how that's even pronounced. We're gonna take out this guy, move on to the bonus room. We're gonna get an extra equipable for Yui, the leafy wings, which will be, ooh, crit! We love to see it. That makes up for the time that we just lost by Yui getting folded there. Okay, so he's chill. We're gonna go up here and kind of go through this like snooze fest of an auto scroller, get the leafy wings, and we are out of here. Now that we're not moving, we will equip those on Yui, and we're gone. So now we can return to the main area here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm also going to hop back into the shop here, the equipables, and I'm going to get some more stuff for Yui. So, because we need to get her buffed. Let's see, Moxie, HP, Defense, Moxie, what's attack? This is for main character. Moxie, Moxie, attack, and Moxie, that's what we need, okay. And then, anything else? HP, okay. There are not a bunch of equipables for Yui, since she's just kind of getting introduced as a character, but I might change that a little bit. I've been thinking of adding some extra equipables in, just to kind of give some more variety. We're going to talk to them. Oh, thanks for bringing him back. So we got an angel food cake. That is a max heal item. Heals HP and AP to max, which is always good to have. Alright, our third possessed enemy, or first, depending on which way you go through World 2. But yeah, we've got high enough attack that we can just kind of like beat the devil out of him real quick. We do not get XP for defeating possessed enemies, which is by design, because you shouldn't really. But if you do, if you like kill them, you'll get XP. But you should feel bad about it, because killing people is bad. So we're about at the halfway point of World 2. We are in the Eastern Mountains. This area is a lot of like vertical kind of stuff going on. A lot of climbing. And you'll notice those like wind gusts. Oh my gosh, a Skeleton Rage. Why is he here? I forgot of his appearance. So I am going to go in here and we're going to fight these guys off, because that first Skeleton Rage encounter, I'm pretty sure is just a Skeleton Rage. So we might as well go the extra mile. Nice crit from Yui. We're gonna go the extra mile, go ahead and get 2 enemies out because that's more efficient. And we are not going to let main character get hit because he will probably get decked by the little skellies. Skeleton Rage has undead attack typing, so that is not good for anyone who is a human character. So Yui's kind of fine, but then Yui also gets folded anyways because it's demon type. Skeleton Rage is just one of the stronger base enemies in the game. And considering I'm buffing attack only and getting terrible RNG with it always, that's not a good thing to have happen. Go get some bonus down here. We're gonna get the Eastern Sash. So this item gives just 5 stats to everything that main character has, which will be helpful. Extra defense is good. Extra attack is always welcome. I want to say, yeah. We'll do a cool slope turnaround. I'm trying to remember all of my Demo 3 movement tech. Now we've got the Angel Airlines ability. Good movement pretty much all across the board. We can use those air gusts now, so alright, we are going to definitely get this Warlock out of here immediately because his attacks take a long time. So get out of here. Alright, we just got a new special attack for Yui as well. We got one for both characters. Looks great. Thanks. I'm glad people think so, honestly. I can't wait for the glow up that will be Demo 4. I've been yapping about Demo 4 this entire stream, like hyping it up like it's gonna be this really great thing. which I hope it is, but more Demo 4 yapping, basically. The polish that I intend to put on all the enemies and everything should be insane. I'm really hoping it is good. Alright, so this should be the last, I think this will be the last enemy encounter I actually need going into the remainder of World 2 here. Or the remainder of this section. Actually, wait. I do, however, need to go up here. We're gonna go up here. This is our next possessed enemy fight. With cutscene skip enabled, you can kind of see that like some of these cutscenes are not really meant to have that happen because they have different camera sizes. So that's like something that should also be fixed. But I love fast-paced games. Shocker considering how fast you can actually move through this, huh? But I'm hoping that movement will be way more fun in Demo 4. It's kind of spammy in Demo 3. You have to spam the dash a lot to build up a ton of speed, which I don't exactly like. I'm kind of trying to reduce that. Now, I'm gonna do, I think we should be able to get through this now very quickly. I got greedy. I should have just charged the attack. I feel like she has like 2 HP left. Yeah, one quirk about this. Oh, cool. She got me right at the end. Okay. Fine. I won't talk about the quirk, but momentum-based movement. Yeah, so when you actually build momentum other than dashing, it does carry, and that's like very apparent in this room here. This is like in one of the trailer scenes that I like to show off because this is the biggest room in the entire game. And you can just like fly through it like this. It's like, I want to say it's like 20 screens or so, like in terms of like total length and height, which is a lot. So we got another item here, the Eastern Coat. I think that is going to be negative for our attack, so I'm not going to equip that. So I actually just wasted a lot of time coming up here, which is so cool. Oh well. Like I said, I went into this blind. So, or I can't say blind, but rather I went in without routing anything. The UI is wild. Honestly, like the UI in Demo 3 is buns compared to what I've got in Demo 4. Oh no, I'm yapping about Demo 4 again. So, though it was good at the time, but like my skill has increased quite a bit since. So like every time I talk about anything I've done in Demo 4, it's gonna be like, oh no, like this from Demo 3 sucked, but here's another thing that's gonna get reworked is this whole section. This is like one big timed event, and this military commander is like the only existing overworld fight, but it doesn't really make sense to have the timing like for getting through it. Like that took me 45 seconds, right? It doesn't exactly make sense to have that in like this just because like it varies based on your actual skills. Like not skill, but level. So now we're in the second secret boss area. We're in the war zone, which this will lead into the fight with Blood Wrath. Obviously, I've got cutscene skip enabled, so all the like story beats are totally getting missed here. Like why we're even doing hardly any of this stuff is just like out of the question basically. We're just schmoving through, but these dudes, the Psycho Wraths, will chase us through here, and they have this kind of like rubber banding to, oh, I'm resetting the room. That's such a time loss. Okay, cool. I'll fight this one anyway. There's 3. This will be a level up. My game's second demo is definitely better than the first. Yeah, that's usually, oh crap, I just did that. I got distracted. That's usually how it goes. Like, with going from a first demo to a second, from my experience, is like you're always gonna have improvements. Like, I feel like I've 100% improved in all of my demo releases that I've done, which does make me feel good as a developer. Like, I do feel like I'm learning the game maker wizardry finally. A lot of the stuff that I've had go through with my development is more that like I get in this mind space that what I have is good enough. Like I put aside my perfectionism for like one thing and then it ends up biting me later. Specifically with some of these, like some of the enemy code, like I would copy paste like the initialization stuff for it a lot instead of just making a function to be reused. So if one of these guys ever uses a sequence attack, the initialization for a sequence attack, basically, like this was copy and paste across like 4 different enemies for the longest time. So which is not my proudest development thing. A lot of stuff was like that I'm like I'm just kind of not happy that it ended up the way that it did. Okay, another level. Can we get good RNG? Absolutely, that's a shocker. All right. Can we get better for Yui because she really needs the attack buff? Amazing. Okay, so now, ooh, my reaction time is insane. We should be able to, oh, I can't actually reach that glide gust from here. I think I might have actually shrunk the size of it a little bit because like the platforming in this whole area is interesting to say the least. No! I can't believe that just happened. No! I'm wasting so much time. This is the longest room in the whole game apparently. Genuinely over. Genuinely over. I'm getting in my head. Okay, I gotta lock in. Let me quit yapping and lock in for a second. Okay, so we're going into the Blood Wrath fight now. The final secret boss. And owner of the coolest battle intro in the entire game right now. So, one thing that just seems to, like, this is, like, not really, like, it's not really, like, that it wasn't intended, but, like, the reason that Blood Wrath is all, like, sci-fi horror themed, I guess, like, with the TVs and stuff, like, old school sci-fi horror themed, is each of these secret boss demons were, and this is not like secret dev knowledge either, like if you just open the enemy log after you've encountered them, you can see this. Pepperoni and Blood Wrath both were summoned before the events of the game. So like before the barrier was broken and all that stuff. They've actually been chilling here in these like little pocket dimensions that they've got for themselves for quite a bit. The way they were each summoned will kind of tie into why they have this theming around them. So that's also something that's going to get touched up on in Demo 4 is the dream sequences that exist already. They don't really touch on that too much. They basically are just like, oh yeah, this was a thing that happened. So now you kind of know that like they're here or they were here before. But I want to shed some more light on like who actually summoned them? Why are they here? Who sealed them away in the first place? And it's all a little bit alluded to as well. Like, just very subtly. Excuse my mashing, I know that's probably loud through the microphone, but we need that damage buff. See, this is what I mean by Blood Wrath being like, I just fumbled that. Blood Wrath being like one of the most underwhelming bosses. He gets so easily folded. Yeah, he's definitely getting buffed. He's definitely getting buffed because he doesn't deserve that kind of treatment. He has like the biggest buildup out of all of the secret bosses in the game right now, and you go in, he takes 3 turns and you dab on him. But yeah, anyhow, I want to touch more on how these specific demons were summoned and everything, go into their lore a little bit more. Because I can kind of do that now that I have like the story stuff more solidified, because before I didn't, it was still a little shaky. The actual big bad behind everything has changed at least 3 times in the game's development. But now I'm pretty certain of the direction I want everything to go, so... Bro got cheesed. Yeah, he kind of did get cheesed, genuinely. Once you get these hard-hitting special attacks, he really does just get, like, cheesed hardcore. And it's not looking good for him. Like, on the one hand, I don't want it to be too difficult that you can't, like, easily, with an asterisk, beat him. Oh my goodness, Yui! I don't want him to be, like, too easy that, like, why even make it a challenge? Like, but... Also, to be fair, I've only buffed attack, and I'm focusing every bit of gear into attack. Though it was kind of the same way when I was testing, he was defeated relatively easy. I kind of attributed that to, like, my own skill, since I've, you know, played this game more than anyone else. Basically, like Like during testing for Demo 3, I played through all the enemy encounters like to get an accurate like what's the maximum level I will be at without like going back to level farm. And I would only boost Moxie, which is the luck stat basically. You know, what determines like do you get random crits or not. I would only boost that. That's the only stat I boosted. It felt like the turns between like defeating the enemies was relatively normal. Like I want to say it was probably, and I did a poll on YouTube like when I was labbing this, like how many turns is too many for random encounters, and it was like 2 to 3 was the attention span cutoff, like before people are like, dang, this is mad boring. Ideally, I want my battles to be carried by the fact that every enemy is really unique with their attacks, and like some just have like totally different attack styles compared to others. I'm rambling, I know. Can't keep a coherent thought when I start talking about my game. So there's a lot of attack styles I've been cooking up that I want to make an appearance via the boss rush in Demo 4. Because I don't want to like go and retcon any existing attack styles. Like they're all gonna stay the same. You have your base ones, dodge, defend, and freestyle. And almost every other attack style is based on that. I could talk about my game forever. I know, right? Like that's probably the biggest pitfall of being a game developer is like like if people start talking to you, like it just becomes like it becomes X tier yap. Like we're skipping S tier, we're going with X tier because that's like if you get a perfect like rhythm game score in Angels and Demons, it's X rank, right? So it's an X rank yap. If any of us start to, like any game developer starts talking about their game, that's just how it goes. And like I don't make the rules, but okay, we're nearing the end of the run here now. So we are in the wardrobe. The main thing that we were doing here, we needed to get the King of Westel and the President of Eastern to come to this show that Kay and Oss, the clowns, were preparing for them to kind of get them to settle the differences, because they're like, oh, they're about to go to war, basically. Only as it turns out that the real Kay and Oss, or Kaylee and Oswald, I should say, have been replaced by these demon doppelgangers. So, and it was all a ruse, so we have to take them out. That's what we'll be doing here. This fight is probably the one I had the most fun making out of all of the fights in the game, because so much went into it. So I don't know how audible it is, but the background music for this track, or this fight, the band in the background syncs up with it, right? I had to do 2 extra rhythm charts that are only used internally by them to, or actually like 3, I think. I don't really remember, but basically they have their own unique rhythm game chart that they use in the background to sync up with the music. Like right now, the Finstrub is just like going ham on the keyboard because we're at that part of the song. The Woodwort syncs up the kick, hat, and snare and everything. The Skellen Rages go along with the brass instrument, and the Angry sings along with the kind of do 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 do. Oh. It's over. Right as we got to the good part of the song too. So this level up is worthless because, well, could be worthless because we're at the end of the run now. After this, we will be collecting the last rune, which will be Tom. So, okay, and there you have it. It took me 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 28.40 seconds to defeat all the bosses in Angels and Demons Demo 3. And I'm totally not recording this voiceover because I said the wrong Tom. 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 27 seconds. Anyways, I'm pretty happy with how the run turned out. Had I played a bit better, I definitely could have shaved off those 7 minutes for a sub 1 hour run. If you think you can do better, this is a challenge for you. Try out your own speedrun and let me know how you did in the Angels and Demons Discord server. I would love to see some other people take a crack at it. So, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching this video all the way through. I know it was a long one compared to my others. If you enjoy this type of content, be sure to let me know in the comments. Also be sure to check the description for a link to the original stream VOD, the Discord server, and some of my other social media pages. And again, thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.